Nobody seems to understand what Candace Owens means. And I want to take this opportunity to, first of all, welcome our dear friends from around the world on this midday, early for some, but perfect time for you. I've got to ask you, please, you got to like this thing. You got to hit that button. You got to hit that subscription. I don't know if they're playing around with me, but these numbers fluctuate. And this is so critical. If you really want to help, you got to like this thing. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like, oh, God, but it's really true. You got to like this. And you got to make sure you subscribe. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. But I want to tell you something. I want you to relax. Some people, not you, but some, and I'm seeing this, are getting too wrapped up and missing the point about how great our dear Candace is, how great things are. And if tomorrow TPUSA, Erica, Alex, and Vance were to disappear because they will faster and quicker than you could ever imagine, we go on. Our camaraderie, our mission, our focus, our collective has nothing to do with these people. None. None. If they find that the Charlie bit was AI or not AI, whether it was at Aspen versus Amfest, whether Covette and the Mikey and this, nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And what I want to discuss today, which is one of my favorite subjects, is the psychology and the philosophy of fame and how there is a collective, I don't want to say tribalism, but there is a collective form of confluence that we are enjoying in supporting our dear friend Candace. I have a picture of her as a queen, but to many people she is a queen, and this is mostly to drive a lot of people crazy. But I'm not suggesting some type of regal status. But in a world that gives us barely marginal entertainment and fans, with a picture of Madonna, who's basically splaying her crotch in front of everybody, and pride, and I'm standing up and saying, okay, I tell you what, you've got your pride and I've got mine. And dare I be a little bit more presumptuous, we have ours. So sit back. This is a day, this is a message of affirmation. So get ready, my friends. I've got a lot to say and you're going to love it. But first, a note about disaster. I know. But no. Just do what I say. Prepare for it. Don't lament. Don't lose sleep. Just prepare. When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged, grab-and-go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because the emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today. And my friends, it's a very, very simple thing here, and I hope that we understand it and grasp this because I think sometimes some people need to put things kind of into perspective just a little bit, just a little bit, and it's very easy to do. But there are people that'll come along in your life where you think, you know what, this is good. This person really made an impact. Some people thought maybe it was Bernie Sanders at some point. It might be a musical part. It might be an actor. It might be a philosopher. It might be somebody other than a relative, and that's it. Nobody's losing their mind over Candace. Nobody. But what I want you to understand is there's this, and I'm seeing this. There's this incredible sense of this psychology that comes over. First, whenever somebody enjoys popularity, it inspires resentment and hate from everybody. I'm always reading all this. Joe Rogan is over. His fans are turning up. No, they're not. His comedy days are over. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, 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 no. None. People love to be the Cassandras, the naysayers, because do you know why? They hate to see you happy. They hate to see you happy. They don't want you to have something you believe in. They hate when you believe in a faith. They hate when you show if you wear a crucifix or a cross or a Mogen David or a Star of David, they go crazy because I don't know what it is. If you seem to be satisfied with your life, if you seem to be happy, then they find something wrong with it. They find something wrong with it. And I don't want to say, noblesse oblige or whatever you want to call it, but there are some people who find a particular way which I may not agree with. I'll give you an example. There's a real issue. There's a real issue that is coming up that a lot of people are suggesting. And they seem to be complaining about TPUSA and the message that are given to young women. Okay. And the idea is that recently there was this event and they're telling women were going there to how to snag men. It was a very interesting thing here. There's a problem, not a problem, but there was a Daily Mail article and others. They say that Erica Kirk used her appearance, so they are saying at this TPUSA Women's Leadership Summit, to promote, quote, traditional marriage, family formation, and what many describe as the trad wife. And I hate that trad. I hate that term because once something makes it into the lexicon, we're going to be, just deluged with it. But this trad lifestyle. And people find it, they're encouraging young women to prioritize finding a husband, having children, and embracing more traditional domestic roles. And to some people, this is a big deal. Now, the article the Daily Mail does and others as well, Financial Times as well deals with this, highlights this kind of like this tension, this ambivalence, if you will, that the message and Erica's own position as CEO of this, seem to be not very consistent. And there's a critical issue here, which is the most important, that would focus on what many people and believers and observers see as a contradiction. Erica always speaks about women embracing traditional roles and rejecting boss babe culture. I'm doing a lot of this today. And prioritizing home life. Yet she occupies one of the most powerful leadership positions in conservative politics. I don't really think she does. She thinks she does. And the question is this in some way inconsistent? Is this problematic? Is she giving the wrong message? Do you espouse this idea that a woman has to enjoy, in order to fulfill herself as a woman and to be a Christian, she has to be a traditional wife and a trad wife? But do you believe this? Listen, here's the thing. Just relax. If you want to do this, great. If not, great. Relax. Take it easy. I mean, we're losing our mind. It's Erica Kirk. Who gives a shit? I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to be like, she's going to say some stuff, and this one's going to say some stuff. Did you see the Carmelo Anthony verdict? I don't know if you saw anything like that. I'm going to be doing an explanation of that about why this guy deserves absolutely to be found guilty. But people are losing their minds over that because we live in a world where everything has to be at an 11. You have to react violently and loudly and vociferously to everything. And it's ridiculous. Take it easy. If you want to be a traditional wife, good. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Women, you've got it tough. There are some women who say, I don't want to do this. Fine. Don't make people feel like they're just. I saw this a while back. And there is a group of folks in every endeavor, in childcare. First of all, is you have to breastfeed. Gotta breastfeed. If you don't, there's something sick about you. You're not a parent. You're not a mother. You're not a human. Now, I saw this kind of tangentially, and I was summoned to lend my experience, and I said, whoa. So I did a little research on this, and I said, you know what's interesting about this? Is that this is not something that in any way indicates that you are a good or a bad mother. This adds tremendous power. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. Big Gov Peloy. Am I reading this? Anyway, thank you. Unbelievable. Breastfeeding. Remember La Leche. Now, I don't want to get into breastfeeding. I don't want to. That's not the point. I'm giving this as an example. This is not even a metaphor. It's an example. As a, who are these breastfeeding Nazis? These lactation Nazis? Take it easy. For whatever reason, the case, the woman didn't do it. She went through a lot of postpartum and whatever. And by the way, I believe in anybody who tells you, anybody who says, postpartum is nonsense. Oh, really? I don't think so. Now, everybody's different. By the way, let me explain something too. Listen to me. You see, you didn't know I know all this. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. There's always an exception to everybody. There's always somebody who says, well, I didn't think that. I didn't say you did. It's not always about you. I met a guy one time, I'll never forget, he came to fix a computer. He was a Special Forces, Green Beret, Vietnam, said he loved it. Never had PTSD. Nobody in his group. He said they had combat day about it. He says he loved it. I said, I've never heard this before. He says, of course you don't. He goes, there's a bunch of people like me because that's not popular to say that you liked war. It blew my mind. So I don't know war, but there's always an exception to everybody. Recently there was a thing we had this 50th anniversary or whatever. I just could not bring myself to. I have a hard time with nostalgia. Make a long story short, I went to this thing. I said, I don't want to go. And I talked to some friends of mine. I said, yeah, G goes, nah. And they go, a lot of people didn't go. And a friend of mine said that was the worst period of my life. I said, what? So wait, were we in the same high school class? Yes. I said, how is it that people see things differently? Big goy. Oh, big goy Poloi, like hoi polloi. Got it. There you go. Sometimes I'm sorry. I have a laptop and the thing is, I got it. Thank you very much for that. Well, I got it. But I said, Gov, goy, got it. So during the whole course of this thing, everybody's got something different. Have you met these before? Some people go there. Some people want to stop drinking. They go to drinking. They have to go to AA. Other people just stop. I don't know. Some people can. Some people can't. I don't know. People are just different. So there is no general anything across the board. There just isn't. Not only that, there are people who are in our world of content who have to every day come up with something life and death about Candace. I'm thinking free country. For a guy to say, lighten up. She's great. She's terrific. What are you worried about? Don't you understand what's going on? She can't release the. She signed an NDA. What are you talking about? She signed an NDA. Don't you understand the thing about Charlie? Charlie said the thing about the business. And was about and the part and the problem was and the thing about the you know was an AI. I said, listen, you gotta calm down here. You gotta calm down. Whatever. Who cares? Whether they do, they don't, or what, I don't care. It's over. The thing is that we have a new movement. And sometimes people have got to sit down, and I mean this, some great people, some great podcasters, you can't do this microscopic stuff forever. There's going to come a time where they're going to say, listen, guess what? TPUSA just closed up and say, but I've got all this stuff banked about, and this one said, and the memo, and they fired this one, and Covette, and Laurie Franz. I said, who gives a shit? It's not about that. This is Candace Owens. I call her the queen. She is this. I say that partly. People love her. That's the story. Why? Why? I love stories about movement. Gustave Le Bon, crowd theories. Why do some people, Dana Lesh, Now you can say, why doesn't she do well? I don't know if it's about the way she does. Is there a conservative person, whatever? Now, technically speaking, Candace is exactly, one would think, on the same page as Dana Lesh. Remember the widow. What does Candace say? The widow. They're the same people. Candace gets along better with Anna Kasparian than Dana Lesh. What the hell's going on here? That's the story. That's the story. I know a lot of people. I knew people in the business. I knew Jerry Wexler very, very well. I knew a guy, one of the, what's his name? The fellow who first brought the Beatles to Shea Stadium. When they really weren't that, they weren't that known. They were, but anyway, I said, what was so special about the Beatles? What? And they can say, look, I can come up with a reason all day long. I can give you, I've told you the macaroni and cheese phenomenon. I don't know why it's so great. You want to give me, there's no answer for it. Well, it's because of the cheese. I know that's not it. Why is it better than Jell-O? I don't know. All of a sudden, something came along, and people say, no. Okay, let's say she's good. Okay, she's good. Good. Yeah. Fine. Good. Interesting. And we were some of us were saying, oh, okay, it's good. Anybody follow? Oh, Tucker's interesting. She's very interesting. Can you think of any? And what's so interesting also is that I ask people, first of all, there's a woman, because up till now, people always used to say that women in politics aren't, there aren't really, and hers is not really politics. But ask yourself this question. What is it? And remember, don't answer the question. If you answer the question, you don't understand the question. It's the analysis, not the answer. There was a joke, which is one of my favorite jokes. What's another word for thesaurus? That's the joke. If you answer the question, you don't get the joke. Because that's the joke. A thesaurus is a book for other words. What's another word for a book of other words? Get it? Okay, it's circular. I got it. I got it. So it's not the answer. It's the analysis. It's making you think, not the answer. I don't want the answer. Laura Ingraham, okay? Now, Laura Ingraham, very smart, very talented, conservative, Fox News, but never caught on like this. People said the thing about Rush Limbaugh. Why? I used to work with a guy named Bob Graham. Bob Graham was almost like really Joe Pine, but they were the primogenitors of this. Why? I don't know. So I tell people, I'm saying, you got to understand something. I was listening today to an interview with Merle Haggard, who loved Dolly Parton. I'm telling you, Dolly Parton was loved because she had a giggle and people just loved her. And there were a lot of people who, Minnie Pearl, but it wasn't because of, Dolly Parton's zaftig morphology and all that stuff. There was something else. Lint brush. Okay, so what is it? I don't know. She's a queen. She goes to Russia. Remember, she was doing 5 minutes, going, hey, she's 5 minutes. All of a sudden, 6 minutes. Whoa, hey. I mean, they love her. How does a Russian, what is with a Russian? Look at this TB cat lady. Nothing wrong with being a cat lady. Thank you. Welcome. What is it about it? That's the thing that's interesting. And you can talk all day long about this stuff. And I don't want to name anybody, but listen, to some of my friends, lighten up. You're going to burn out. You're missing the fun if you're going to worry about things about who, And listen, you got to understand something. Erica Kirk is nothing. You do understand that. Repeat it. I mean, she's nothing. I mean, she's not a bad person. Don't hate her. Don't laugh at her. Oh, please mock her all you want because she's a phony. And phonies, we should be allergic to phonies, but she's not the end of the world. She's nothing. Believe me, TPUSA, faster than you can realize, she's just going to go away. There's just nothing there. And the sad part about it is that there are these, I think, women who really look for something, maybe sisterhood. I don't know what it is. And I want to say, it's not, put it this way. It's okay. Motherhood is great. And marriage is great. But how do I say this in a nice way? If you don't believe in yourself initially, if there is nothing to you other than when you become a wife, when you become a mother, then we got to talk. We got to really talk. You're not going to be good to anybody if you really don't believe in yourself. I know that may sound kind of Deepak Chopra-ish, but it's the truth. And there's one thing they're not talking about. No man ever, I don't understand this. There's all this talk about men and women. Why are people talking to the Tates about manhood? Do I have to remind you of what these people, the way they think about women? Do you understand this? This is toxic. Why is it that people are so confused about just things that are so interesting? Let me ask you ladies a question. There's a lot of ladies right here. Are you nothing without being a mother? I think sometimes people say, I define myself. I'm proud as being a mother, proud as being a wife. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. But is there something there? You can't offer anything to a man, to a child, for anything if you don't believe in yourself. This is you're of no use to anybody. You understand what I'm saying? People that you're not going to be anything to anybody if you don't have any, at least a foundation in who you are. I know that sounds whatever it was. So anyway, back to the whole thing. I don't want to get too heavy about this, but I'm thinking they don't understand it. There is nobody today. And if you wanted to go to Barry Weiss or anybody else is like, listen, you want to do a good story for CBS? Look at this phenomenon that's going on right here. Look at this. You will talk about Lizzo, lizard, whatever, these corpulent 500-pounders walking around with their ass hanging out, WAP and all this disgusting. This is emblematic of nothing. In fact, what you're doing is I think you're deliberately actually promoting this to actually hurt black people and urbans and kids, I think, by telling people, oh, this is good, when in fact, it's not good. But really, what people should be doing is, and this is the best part about this is, and this is where the Dana Leshes and all this, they are feminists. They are people who believe they are first and foremost, front and center, who they are with their headshot and their management team, and they are who they are. They are not giving up any of this. All of those women, all of those people there are not at home with their kids. We're never at home with their kids, never. And I'm not saying it's a wrong thing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but they're hypocrites. How are they telling people to do this? How are they telling people to do this? In fact, the women who do stay home, they're not going to be out giving speeches about staying home with the kids if they're out not at home with the kids. And be not mistaken, as far as I'm concerned, I think one of the greatest things in the world, my mother was stay at home. That's all we know. All my friends, everybody in my neighborhood, everybody's mother stayed home. Everybody. Nobody was rich, but for some reason the economy was different. Father's work, mother stayed home. I think it was just something, I think it was preferred. And by the way, we had a very good relationship with everybody else's mother because everybody else's mother was ours. You never disrespect anybody else's mother. And by the way, women, this is really weird. I'm going to say this in a very strange way. I didn't know at the time, but there was something sexy. I figured these women some of them were like in their 30s, but they didn't look like tramps. They didn't like sluts, skeeves, slatterns. They didn't have tramp stamps, tattoos. They didn't walk around with anything hanging out. And maybe they were June cleavers. Okay, fine. But I think there was something profoundly attractive. And if you want to use the word sexy about a woman who was so together, it's her countenance, it's her warmth, her intelligence, who is, I just don't understand it. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe I wasn't raised, but nobody, as soon as we started to tattoo, that's when we went downhill. I was watching interesting today. There was a Joe Rogan episode with Terry Bradshaw was on with Joe Rogan. And Terry says, a lot of tattoos around here. I think it's absolutely barbaric. And it is this mindset. It is this murmurations. Remember starlings move and those bird patterns, they're murmurations. And people will do anything to look like everybody else. I find men walking around in a suit with a backpack deplorable, disgusting. I find men who wear a suit with rubber soles of shoes with a suit, disgusting. There's no fashion, there's no tradition, there's no nothing. And they don't really realize it. What? But it's who they are. It's what they are born in. And it is, I guess, a part of our humanity. And what I'd like to say is, if you really want to go, another reason why people like, I think, Candace, why she is the queen in many respects, is because she is so antithetical and not prototypical. She's a black woman who doesn't spew prototypical black, philosophy. I mean, typical, black media philosophy, and also doesn't spew anti white or anti nothing. Her gender and her race never come into it, which is for the most part like most people. Race and gender never, and for most people. Here's also listen to this. This is something else, and maybe you can help me with this, ladies. I think you're very good at this. Let me explain this to you. As I told you before, and please don't take this the wrong way, women are brutal to each other. But yet, in this world of this, the people who work with Candace don't like her because they're jealous of her. But her audience is primarily women. Women love her more than men. Guaranteed. Absolutely, positively, 100%. I don't care what any of the demographics say. And men like her. But women, it's almost like there's a paternalistic cue. And I think it goes back to the fact that you are wired, whether you have children or not, you were predisposed genetically, atavistically, primordially, evolutionarily to become attached to things. Because as a mother, as the potential for being a mother, you have to learn to be attached. You can't be fickle about love. You can't. Because if you're going to be a mother to a child, you better stick with that child. So it is your natural predisposition to stick with something. You're going to stick with a husband. You will. Mothers very rarely abandon children. It's happened. I know there's always one or two, but for the most part, they don't. Men will, not a woman. So that proclivity, propensity, that predisposition towards, tribute and fidelity applies to her. That's number one. Number two, Candace comes across to women like their friend. She's not threatening to you. She doesn't do any of this bullshit that most women do. She never talks. You don't look at her and go, oh God, look at this. Look at this one. You don't sit there and say, if she gets any more work done, she's not even going to be able to open her eyes. There's some people on TV. I'm not going to mention them, but they're like they're getting this. They're getting this lip. Say, what the hell's the matter with you? What, you play the trumpet? What are you, Louis? What are you, Clark Terry? All of a sudden, you're like this, and you just she's real about this thing, and women respect that. So they find this friend. She's kind of like a sister, kind of like a neighbor, kind of like somebody they respect with, and also somebody who basically says, "Hey, listen, ladies, believe it or not, up till now, you're not going to believe this, but a lot of men have told you, hey, listen, this politics stuff, this really isn't for you. This is a man thing, so shoo." Sean Hannity, Lindsey Graham, go down the list. Bolton, Newt Gingrich. Do they even recognize women? Unless there's a prototypical gratuitous Maggie Thatcher, Jean Kirby. Do they even mention women? Never. Women are like, oh, yeah. Women, sure, yeah, okay. Is that because I'm not saying they're misogynistic or anything like that. No. But here's Candace at the top of her game, and she's going to Russia, and they're going apeshit over her. And not anybody else. Did they go apeshit over Tucker? No. And Tucker met with Putin. And remember, I'm not trying to compare the two. Tucker's great. Please don't pit. I'm not pitting one against the other. I'm not doing that. I'm not suggesting that for a moment. But what I'm telling you is that she went there and they went berserk. Tucker went there. Tucker. Nobody really loved. No, nobody. And he met with Putin. Think about it. They want to go. They want to hang her, figuratively. You know what I mean? When Tucker went, nothing. It's like, you remember Putin said, nobody. Because Putin didn't really say anything. Putin's so smart. And the reason why, believe it or not, what are you going to do? You're going to meet with him? What are you going to outsmart him? The only way to meet Putin is say, what's one thing you've never told anybody? Give me something to take back. Tell me something you've never told anybody. Because they know what you're going to say. You're not going to tell me anything. Same thing with Lavrov. Have you seen Sergei Lavrov? Oh man. We don't have, who do we have? Marco Rubio? Come on. Hegseth? Lutnick? Witkoff? Please. These are morons. I know they make a lot of money. That's all people care about, this money. You got to be some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life, or millionaires and gazillionaires and trillionaires. No. Do you think that these people are seriously, do you really seriously believe that maybe Steve Jobs, yes, but that Bill Gates is smarter than most people? No. Absolutely not. He's diabolical, and that's not smart. So going back to our queen, that's what this is about. So now they're saying, I love this. Well, she said she was going to release the AI. Maybe she talked to the donor. Who gives a shit? Talk to the donor. Don't talk to the donor. I don't care. Listen, do we all agree? Charlie never said, yeah, I'm going to appoint my wife. Do we agree to that? Do you need me to give you a tape of that? Do you? Do we all agree? Raise your hand. Do we agree? Hit 1 for yes. Just the number 1. That's it. Whenever I answer your question, yes, just put 1. If the answer is no, hit 2. That's it. Very simple. You're going to boop. Sometimes you're driving. Please don't type and drive. It's the bottom line. What do we care? I don't give a shit. Great. Terrific. Go ahead. Do it. Don't do it. Have the tape. It's bullshit. I don't believe any of it. These people are the biggest. I have never. I ever want to walk in and just slap somebody and say, would you not? Would you get out of here? Have you seen, who are the 2 people that Charlie Kirk show? I don't even know. Colvett and the other guy? Who's the other? Who are these people? They're like little boys. They're little boys. You haven't seen shit in your life. You haven't done anything. You don't even know what we know. Oh, let me tell you something. You better listen to Grandpa. I've seen some stuff that, it'll curl your hair, curl your toes. You won't be able to stop blinking or start blinking. And that's the beautiful part about this thing. And I swear to God, I know I've seen this before. I've seen this. Look who it is. It is, oh, my boy Raul says, hail, hail to the Candace Queen. I mean, let's don't get crazy with this. It was kind of just to piss people off. But you know what I mean? She's a queen of the media. Absolutely. And you know who else is a pretty good too? And you never hear about old George Farmer. Bless his heart. I call him the Georgie fame because he's the one who said, no, Candace, you go ahead. Do your thing. Please. Stay there. I'll be here with the young'uns. Go ahead. He's got to have his shit together. I mean it. You're going to talk about, say, what's a real man and all that. A lot of guys will say, excuse me, my wife. Hey, can I meet your wife? What about me? What about me? You know. Let me tell you something. I think old George and I, because when we go to D.C., who's setting up the signs? Who's putting all that stuff up? Me. Who goes to FedEx? Me. Who does all this stuff? Me. Who does it? Me. I'm the one who does it, and I proudly do it. It's her show. It's her thing. And I'm proud to back my wife. Oh, I've done my thing. You do it. You enjoy it. This is your game. This is not about me. No, take pictures. No, go ahead. No. So that's one thing I like. In fact, I swear to God, it sounds crazy. All right? Sounds crazy. Maybe it doesn't. But if ever I could sit down with Candace, I'd say, can I talk to your husband too? Because I like to sit there and say, ain't this some shit? Yeah. What do your friends tell you? Seriously. Because you never hear about it takes it. Let me tell you something. It takes, you know what a real man is? A real man is a guy who takes care of the girl and you know, does a tea party with the daughter, whatever the hell it is. It's a guy who says, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I'm not some fanoke. Doesn't matter. But I'm an adult. And I'm a human being. And I'm an evolved human being. And my sense of success is not in me, you know, doing something. I'll put another deer head on my wall. I always wonder about that. You're a lot of hunting you do, huh? Good. It's good. A lot of good. What did you do? Well, I stayed home and played, you know, with we played house or whatever it was. But what I'm saying is that you want to talk about an enriched, advanced human being. He doesn't worry about stuff like this. That's why these Tates, the way they talk about women, this isn't a man. No. Sorry. It's like you're going out of your way to show everybody how you're. That's why this ditty. You've got a party with oil? What are you, Caligula? What's the matter with you? Now listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about being a wallflower. I'm not talking about anything like, I'm not saying anything like that. I think that you can go out and you can live a pretty robust life and do a lot of exciting things and not hurt anybody, not deceive anybody. All consensual, but you can, you know, because I'm sorry. I've never been an advocate of abstinence. I know, Charlie, I'm sorry. Can't do it. Sorry. I'm all for it. If you are, good for you. But to tell my son, you're not going to have sex until you're married? What? Sorry. Can't. I guess I got to turn in my membership card. Nope. No. And I'm not sure that I endorse a woman having to get married and have children. If you want to, great. But there's a lot of women who, for whatever reason, would want the same type of lifestyle that a man does. And she should, if that's what she wants. And I don't know if she's necessarily going to be miserable with a bunch of cats. No offense to them. See, this generalization stuff, I get a little bit like, well, a little bit, I don't know what the word is. I mean, a little bit, the Bible's a wonderful thing, but I'm not going to go and slay my neighbor if they're wearing clothing of two different types of cloth. I'm not going to slay my neighbor because he doesn't observe the Sabbath. Sorry. I'm not going to sell somebody's daughter into slavery. You know what I mean? Don't lose the essence of it over the particulars. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think Candace is doing any of that stuff. So do me a favor. Promise me this. Just remember, repeat after me. TPUSA, Erica, who gives a shit? Whatever they do. They got the tape. They don't have the tape. It's AI. Whatever. I don't care. What do we care? It's over with. It's done. Do you understand it? It's done. It's done. You understand this? This is what? I love this. What, Lionel? You're not puritanical? Nope. No. Oops, sorry, that's not it. Hang on, that's not it. Oh, that's it. Yeah. And by the way, puritanical, I think, remember, my whole philosophy is that you live in, number of people is 666. Okay. You do me a favor. Do me a favor. If your heart's in the wrong place, let me try this in English. If your heart's in the right place, you don't have to worry about the devil. Okay. You are Satan proof. Okay. Like LifeLock for it. Don't worry about it. Satan ain't going to bother you. Trust me on that one. People live too much by fear. They always love to scare you. They're the seed oil contingent. Did you hear this? Who was this fellow? Oh, it was Vance. All he cares about are seed oils. That's it. That's it. Seed oils. That's it. See, it's like people love to live in fear. I don't. I don't live in fear. I believe in exploration and excitement and endeavor and investigation. Go, do, live, have fun, relax. And as soon as you get done with this bullshit, there's going to be something else for you. I know people who live and breathe and die because of about Israel and Zionism. And it's like, okay, do yourself a favor. First of all, remember, number one, you've got a report due on Tuesday, or you got to pick your daughter up from soccer practice, or you've got to go get that filling replaced. Your life is still a wonderful symphony of mundane things. You don't have to worry about Israel. They're not asking your opinion. They're not. They don't care what you think. So be aware of this. Be aware of this. Be concerned about it. But don't go crazy thinking you've got to find the answer to Zionism. Don't worry about it. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's listening to them. I mean, I how do I say this? You shouldn't comment on things that you have necessarily have a direct control over, because most of the stuff we don't have a direct control over at all. But I'm going to go back to something. This idea about, because I swear to you, I was listening to somebody speaking of Israel again, Israel, Middle East, and I thought it was new, and it was like, they said, oh, it's a year old. I said, sounds the same. I couldn't tell. I thought I was listening to something new. It was a year old. This stuff doesn't change. But all of a sudden, things were like this. I saw it when Alex Jones came. Pow! It's like, what is this guy? He was the first one. Don't ever sell him short. Don't ever, 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 ever sell him short. Quick, name me somebody equivalent to Candace and what she's done. Man or woman, black, white, young, old, male, female, whatever it is. Name it. Go ahead. I'll give you a second because there's a delay. Okay. By the way, greatest thing in the world, Neosporin. Neosporin, to me, you got to pop something, get a needle, and then you just I had something, I don't know what the hell, my fingernail the other day. It was like red. I said, there is a pocket of purulence there, and I'm going to pop that mother. And I'm going to go in there and have my Neosporin ready. I got my, asked my wife, where's your sewing needles? Are you going to pop something? Yes, I'm going to pop it. Don't pop it. I said, it's killing me. Where's the sewing needle? So she's got the sewing kit. And I do the flame. I'm there right there. God, no pop to it. Hit it, Vesuvius. Neosporin. Put it in there. It's like, who was it? The fat Greek wedding, a Windex. And remember when we were a kid, peroxide and mercurochrome. Donna says, fear and loathing everywhere. Great stream. Absolutely. We have to sometimes worry about ourselves. But think about this. Who came along? Who is it that, I know Charlie did. You're right, Charlie. But Charlie really wasn't. Charlie was almost like an evangelical. Oh, you know what? Theo Von going evangelical. That's a good pun. That's a good pun there, Theo. Bless his heart. There's a good pun. But who? But Candace, who? She's a star. She hasn't done this yet. Remember, I'm telling you this. She needs to have this one thing. Oh, laughing is good. Oh, Zach Castillo. Zach. Zach. I'm going to get him on, I think, Friday. I like old Zach. We got a communication with him. I like him, too. I want to see his take on this. So put in a good word for me. I'm always nice. I'm nice at people. There's a lot. In fact, tell me if there's somebody I should talk to that maybe I'm missing. Like, give me a list of your favorites. Lionel at Lionel. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh. See, sometimes you got to get the right humidity. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Who is it? I don't know. If you have duct tape and WD-40, oh, you can fix it. You're right. Duct tape. Right. And thank you for saying duct and not duck. WD-40. There was also graphite was good too. Look at this. This is the best comment. So, love you, Lionel. But sometimes I have to remember not to eat when I'm listening to you. The images of your descriptions get to me much funnier than when I'm not eating. You know, that means more to me than anything. That means more to me than anything. Look at this. I like this. My husband worked 2 jobs so I could stay home because I wanted to. Had a college degree and had a different plans, but met husband, got married in 6 months and pregnant on the first anniversary. Not for all. You do what you want. Do what you want. Do what you want. It's your life. But remember one thing, and I'll tell you what, I think there are some things which are the greatest, some of the greatest expressions of all times. One of history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. That's Tolstoy. But also, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Good luck. Good luck. Think about where you are now. Is there anybody listening to me who ever would think you would be where you are now? No. Even when you plan it, no. No. You know, whenever there's the end of the year, they have these poor. Have you ever been to a graduation? I went to one. It was so bad. Oh my God, it was so horrible. What I did was I would sometimes be with a group of the family, and I would stand up all of a sudden scream. Somebody's name would come up, and I would stand up and go, yeah, and they say, why are you doing this? I said, because I'm happy for them. You don't know who they are. Do I have to know who they are? Is that what you're saying? So I turned around and said, what? Do I have to, if I clap for your kid, is that okay? Do you mind? And then they were laughing because it was so stupid. And you get these semi-illiterate people, and all of them were like, well, now with a a GPA of 9.3. I say, wait a minute, what? 9? Well, extra credit. Extra credit. Well, anyway, when you tell kids, because listen, go out, live it up, and hang on for dear life. That's it. Because one of these days you're going to be dead and none of this shit matters. It really doesn't. Your legacy is maybe your love, the people you love, and that's about it. That's about it. I mean, just go out, do the right thing, but just don't give this a lot of thought. If you think too much about it, you're just, oh my God. You're just. I have given so much advice. Friends of mine who question their faith, I said, you better believe you should be questioning your faith all the time. Questioning doesn't mean you're not saying it's not true. You're just holding it up for testing, pressure test it. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Does this make sense? It's so, I got to tell you something. Today, I just had to run because I'm not going to mention names, but some people are getting so damn serious about this. It's like, would you stop? I mean, Erica Kirk is just funny as hell. She's never said, and she cannot possibly tell me anything that in any way whatsoever do I consider it to be, I don't know, serious or whatever. Nothing.
It seems to me that nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world.
Just cracks me up. How can that makes me laugh? And Erica, thank you. I want to shake your hand. Whenever I'm feeling blue, whenever I'm feeling bad, I just put on one of your stupid self-serving things. I laugh my ass off. Why? Because you're so full of shit. It's not even funny, and you're you don't even know it. It's the funniest thing in the world. Please don't ever stop. Please. Can we get the wit and wisdom of you? Can we get like some of the great, like if I did a thing, who would play her? You know who would be terrific? Kristen Wiig. I don't know if somebody can really Glenn Close. You need somebody who's kind of ditzy, but who goes from this. I don't know what it is. 1 minute, like the other day when she would go, and in Zebediah, it's like, you schmuck, you didn't even know how to handle that? You could have said something like, yeah, I remember when I had my first beer. Yep, see what happens when cousins marry? Something like that. Here, would you like the microphone? Here, why don't you come up? Why don't you? I can't hear you. What was that again? I'm a what? More Drewski's terrific. Drewski was fantastic. Oh, my God. Drewski would be one of the best. Oh. This is just incredible. You know what's interesting? I was, again, watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, what? I'm sitting here in New York City on the west side of Manhattan, because nobody can say the T, Manhattan, and Hell's Kitchen, the west side, most beautiful. You can look at, there's a Hudson River right there. Right there's a Hudson River. And right theater district over here. And here I am doing my particular thing. And you might be in wherever, but you got Aussies, you got this, you got Europeans, you got all this stuff. And we're all just sitting there. And I'm talking to you right now. This still blows my mind. And I'm sitting here and it's like I'm sitting in a room and they've just dilated my eyes. So I can't open my eyes so I can talk to you. And you're not talking to me, but I'm talking. And I feel a connection in a very weird way, even though I don't really see it. Even though I'm just seeing, maybe the only thing I see is, some thoughts or whatever. And yet it is probably it's fun to me. I feel like I'm connected to you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm connected to you. I see some people, I'm mentioning, it's like, I don't think they think they're talking to anybody. I just think they're making a speech. But I'm talking to you. Look at poor dog nose. Blurry. You okay there? You okay there, nose? You all right? Oh, is it? How come all these people refuse to pronounce their T's? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Did you see some of this? This is, can I be terrible? Can I be terrible? I'm going to do something later on this, but I just have to give. I have to give you this. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. I'm terrible. I'm not going to say anything at all. But as you know, there was a terrible case of there was this young boy, it's Carmelo Anthony case. And the reaction outside was complete and total disjointed gibberish. And I just want you to just remember when you start your day, here's some words of wisdom which I think are important for you that you should take into consideration.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion here.
Just like Carmelo was doing. I'm glad you just said that. That's what Carmelo was doing. Protecting his motherfucking self.
What do you think about that? Do you think does that kind of says it all, doesn't it? It kind of says it all. It puts things into perspective. And it's one of those things I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is. I'm going to do a piece later on this is this punk, Carmelo Anthony, who took a young man's life and absolutely, positively, 35 years for Austin Metcalf. And these protesters, by the way, because they walked out and remember, if there were no cameras, there would be none of that. None. But this is, so when Candace is in Russia, do they have that in Russia? Do they have people who were born in Russia who can't even speak Russian? Because I don't know what this was. I don't know what this was. And excuse me, I don't understand what they were saying. None whatsoever. And there's more of it too. Would you like to hear something else? I mean, this is the reaction. This is the reaction that was caught. And well, it just speaks for itself.
I forgot, and the twin brother would have been with him. Fuck it, you see.
They should have both been arrested.
They should both should have been dead.
Oh, by the way, one thing you gotta watch. You gotta watch this. First thing first. Everybody has to talk at the same time. I learned a lot about this from watching my police videos. You talk at the same time, as though you don't hear whoever's talking, and you expect somebody to be able to decipher what it is that you're saying. All right, but you speak at the same time, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is that you're saying.
Yeah, I forgot, and the twin brother would have been with him. Fuck it, you see.
They should have both been arrested.
Wouldn't you like to see the transcript of this? Can you imagine the poor guy goes, I can't do this. AI says, I'm sorry, we have no idea. I want to see, what does it say? Closed caption. What are they saying?
Both should have been dead. The both brothers. Both of them should have been dead. You ask me?
Look at this. Now imagine this is your support group. First of all, you're saying, they don't know what you're saying. You may have a good point here. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't it just... I'm going to be talking. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Oh, but wait. There's more. I got more for you. Oh, yeah. I got more for you. This is this woman claims to be a fellow prosecutor or a former prosecutor. And she says, well, she has obviously a big degree of disagreement with the verdict.
This was a legal lynching that happened in here today.
See that?
I said as a former prosecutor, this was a legal lynching.
Lynching. You got to get the lynching.
That happened in this slaughterhouse. This is a slaughterhouse. This is not a courthouse. This courthouse is designed when you will come here and you look like us to slaughter you.
All right.
That judge intentionally.
Now you know what happened. You know the story behind this, right? This young man, this Carmelo Anthony. There was an event. Both of them were football players. It was a football team, and Austin Metcalf. They met. Carmelo Anthony would not leave this area. I think it was raining or something. He was inside of a tent. He wouldn't leave. And he referred to, says, I've got something for you, or something like that. He claims self-defense. Self-defense in the United States means I can only use that amount of force equal to the amount of force you're showing against me. So if you use deadly force against me, I can use deadly force against you. If you push me, I can't stab you. If you go like this, I can't stab you. If you call me a racial epithet, which is no evidence of that, I can't stab you. In order to prove self-defense, people have to say, yeah, this guy came after him, or he was about, anyway, none of that happened. This was just basic pushing. But nobody seems to care about this, because then we're getting into the George Floyd mentality. And what happens is every time this happens, you would think this is so absurd that nobody could ever give this any countenance. Well, believe it or not, they can. Absolutely. Here's some more. We're not done yet. We're not done. Oh, this one's scary. Look at this.
Where are y'all white people at? If you love Austin, you would be.
You know, this reminds me of, what is that called? That Samoan haka, that haka, paka nana, you know, that rah. She's like, rah, it's almost rhythmic. What is this? What is being said here?
But because you don't care, it's funny than a motherfucker. Where's Austin's body? No, I'll talk. Y'all don't love Austin. You don't care about Hunter.
Have you heard? Can you understand any? I'm serious. Can you understand anything?
Because if you did, you would really stand in solidarity, not online, but right here.
Solidarity.
So I gotta speak for your white baby. I'll do it. I'll conjure that baby.
Not a clue.
And make sure he tells the real story. Bring your white people. I really want to see that support. Don't shush me.
Don't shush me. I don't understand, but doesn't that just kill you? What are we talking about? Oh, and by the way, you want to hear what the jury thought? Listen to this. This is from, now granted, this is New York Post, and you might think, wow, they're a little biased, maybe. But listen to this. Here's a perspective that I think is fascinating.
In the Carmelo Anthony murder trial were visibly shocked when the prosecution showed them graphic autopsy photos. If you haven't been following this story, Carmelo Anthony is the Texas teen on trial for the brutal murder of high school football star Austin Metcalf. Some of the jury members reportedly gasped. One woman put her hand over her mouth as pictures were displayed of Metcalf's body, showing a large stab wound in his chest, which punctured his heart. Metcalf's family had to leave the courtroom when the grisly pictures were shown, and the 19-year-old defendant apparently couldn't or wouldn't look at them. His gaze was fixed on his lap. Anthony's defense lawyers began arguing their case on Monday, and the trial could wrap up by the end of the week. Prosecutors say Metcalf was slain after the teens fought during a track and field meet over, of all things, seating arrangements. Now Anthony faces up to life in prison if he's convicted.
Isn't that something? This young man now is gone. This man is, and nobody, and I don't know who exactly is arguing on behalf of Metcalf. But this is, but here's the best. Here's the best. Guess who also weighed in on this? With the most, it's hard to say what's more preposterous. The only thing is that I think maybe I can understand her better.
300-pound man
Jasmine Crockett
is beating me, like on top of me and beating me down.
Okay, first of all, you do know the 300-pound man, that's not the case. She also was suggesting that there was a little knife. She was actually arguing that the size of the knife wasn't large enough to be illegal. Also, they said that the knife itself was not, how do I say that? They said that the knife wasn't illegal. Scissors aren't illegal. A steak knife is not illegal. A nice pick is not illegal. But if I use it in a way that is lethal, a pillow is not lethal, but I can use it in a deadly way. But listen to Congressman Jasmine Crockett.
I'm not limited to fist.
Again, what she's talking about, it's true. If a 300, these are two young men basically of the same size. One has a knife, one doesn't.
You know, I would argue that even the only time we go into things like people's hands.
And by the way, see those nails? Ladies, can I ask you a question? The nails. I just want to ask you a question. I want to ask you one question. The nails. Now, I want to ask you something in a way, and I don't want to be unnecessarily grotesque. But when you have to attend to certain bodily functions, and you have to complete them, the hand is this wonderful collection for bacteria and all kinds of things. But if you have these, I'm just saying don't you think you would need to go through extra care to make sure you disinfect? Just a thought.
Being considered deadly weapons is typically like if they're a professional boxer or that kind of stuff. But I think by the time you start getting to like football player, good argument.
But there's two football players. One football player had a knife and the other one didn't. You see, so I don't know where she's going with this.
Good freaking argument. We're not talking about like the golfers.
And by the way, she doesn't speak like this. Just to let you know, I've heard her, and she is a more formal. But again, it's sometimes colloquialisms and idiomatic expressions are one that allows people to attract different audiences.
Talking about football players, right? Like this is what they are trained to do, is to inflict like serious physical contact.
They're high school players. They're high schoolers, and Mr. Anthony would not leave. They told him to get out, and he would not leave. And he said basically, "Come on, come on." And he, football player as well, not a diminutive young man, took out a knife. Do you think Miss Crockett knows this?
And it's my understanding that the decedent was that.
The decedent, not Mr. Austin. Isn't this something? Doesn't this just make you? But by the way, there's one more, and I'm going to do this again. I'm kind of giving a preview, a précis, a prolegomenon, excuse me, for what we are doing. This is the one this is just generic anger.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do?
Well, I got a few ideas.
This point. What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys.
And I would suggest you instruct your 5 sons to not stab people, bring knives, or escalate situations like this to murder. Now check out the man who has all of his jewelry around his neck. Now watch, because he's thinking of something. He says, I want to say something, but I don't know what it is. And he's thinking right now of something to say, something to add.
I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell him no more. You can't walk away no more.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. There you go. A blast from the past. Trayvon Martin, who went for George Zimmerman's gun. You never knew about that one, did you? That's another story.
Let me ask you this right now. I hear.
Okay. Don't you? But this is so I was thinking about this. So when Candace is in Russia, ooh, Russia, boo, boo, backwards, backwater Russia, boo. This is not a rarity. What is this? What is this? This is a kid, happens to be black, who instead of saying, well, kid, you made your bed, now lie in it. That's the way it is. No, it's always racial. It's the same patellar, Pavlovian reflex every single time. And when there are real cases, actual cases of racism, they're dismissed as here we go again, because here we go again. Doesn't this make you? This is the most important. You have a duty to retreat. There's no stand your ground, by the way. There's no stand your ground in Texas. And more importantly, stand your ground wouldn't apply because this was a non-lethal threat in the first place. I'm going to go through this later. I'm going to go through because people are just, but they just refuse to do this. So let me go back to Candace. When Candace was, by the way, everybody she spoke to could speak English for the most part. I mean, not everybody in Russia can, but a very, very, this is from 800 CE Common Era, right? Yes. Been around for a while. You know what I mean? And then people say, how dare you go to this backwater? How embarrassing is this? How embarrassing. First, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say this. How does anybody expect anybody to advance anywhere, societally, professionally, whatever, when you can't speak English, when AI can't even pick up the actual closed caption, or they don't know what you're saying? What is this? What is this? This is ridiculous. Now, I'm not in any way suggesting I believe this is a vast sliver, a tiny little sliver of the entire totality of our population. This does not represent a vast majority, not at all. But yet, whenever something like this happens, they send out cameras, and you think somebody would say, they're making fools of us. You think if there really was anything called black leadership, somebody would say, you do realize you're being made to me look like a fool. You think you're being given the opportunity to speak, but this is ridiculous. Of all the things in the world that you could be talking about, you're standing behind somebody who killed. And by the way, they say there was nobody. The jury was not black. I think there were 6 or 7 white, Hispanic, and Asian, but no African American per se. We can go into the reasons why that is true. Does anybody even believe this? And when you see the picture of somebody when you see the ME's pictures, and whenever you have somebody who comes in and shows the pictures, the people that I worked with, these are like the best photographers, but they can show you, they can make a scene. And the worst, black and white. Oh my God. When you see the picture of a young man before smiling with his uniform, and then you see maybe the lifeless eyes, that doll eyes, the disconnect, the fixed, and race goes out the window. So this is where we are. So on a lighter note, when our queen, your queen, Candace, speaks about Russia or goes there, what are we so proud of? What are we so, seriously? Is this the first time this has happened? Not at all. Happens all the time. Not inequality to black people, though that does happen, I'm sure, as is a lot of other people. By the way, the inequality that happens sometimes doesn't even have a name. But I'm saying this ridiculous automatic patellar reflex, this knee-jerk reaction, this Pavlovian, always the same, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, the same thing. George Floyd, they still will not acknowledge that what this was a man who died of an overdose while in custody, who was saying, I can't breathe before, up to and not only that, saying, I can't breathe, calling for his mother. Remember, when you can't breathe, you can't speak. But I've digressed, my friend. I don't want to end on that lower note, but I want to make sure you understand the totality of our world. Now, don't lose sleep over this. There's going to be another one. I'm sorry to say, but I hope it doesn't. But don't lose yourself in every moment. Learn from it and move on. And as far as Candace goes, well, we'll be watching today when she comes on. We'll do a post Candace review. And if I am lucky, and if you can grace me again with your presence, I would be more than honored. I thank you for this. I thank you. So anyway, right now I'm going to do a piece. Oh, there you go. Of a kind of my compilation of the Carmelo Anthony case, and give it from a lawyer's perspective, the law and what we should do, kind of as a tutorial. Let me also ask you, dear friends, please follow my beloved Lynn Shaw at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors, please follow her. I mean that sincerely, from the heart, from the heart. I appreciate it so much. Please like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And like the video. Like it. And remember, we are going to be discussing this. And I'm going to say this one more time. We are seeing right now a reformulation, a recompilation, so to speak, of a voting group, thanks to the work of Madam Candace. I got the chance to meet so many of you. I can't think of anything where she has brought more people together. And remember one thing, and I'm going to leave you with this. TPUSA will fold sooner than ever. Erica Kirk will go bye-bye. She'll do whatever she wants to do. Maybe, I hope, being a mother, maybe trying to rekindle a relationship with Charlie's parents and sister. And it won't matter. Her next step, because the day, if Candace Owens one time said, has Candace Fest, let's say she has a place, maybe in Tennessee, maybe, who knows, but something that looks like Woodstock. And she has her counter argument to TPUSA. You know, Charlie's Angels. I don't want to use that term, but I mean, but something, but maybe, and you saw, wow, you wouldn't need to see these retreads, the Dana Leshes quoting from the book of Jebediah, whatever it is, and screaming widows. And when you saw a greater heterogeneity, a greater diversity, a greater assortment of humanity, all different walks of life, ages, races, then they will say, she has arrived. And you know that's happening next. All right, my friends, have a great and a glorious and a wonderful and a beauteous day. Remember, breathe, go outside, do something fun today. Do something really stupid. Take a good hour of your day every day and do something stupid and fun. Read a book, take a walk, watch some stupid YouTube show. I don't care what it is. Pick up the phone also and call a friend of yours. Don't text them. Call somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time. Maybe a relative. I would hope your parents, if they're alive still. And laugh. Bring up something that happened and laugh. Enjoy this. Don't just remember. Take it easy. It's all right. But enjoy this. This is not a dress rehearsal. Period. And I have, again, been honored to speak with you and be with you. Okay, you got it? You guys are the best. Absolutely. Okay, good. So we'll see you later. Remember, I don't know when, whatever it is, just make sure you keep signed up for new streams and new drops or whatever. And anyway, until then, my friends, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.